Hello everyone, today I'm here to do a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions a long time ago. This is a pre-recorded video, just so you're aware of it. It is what it is, but either way, we're here to do some Q&As, or I'm answering your questions. I have quite a bit. I've even organized them. That's right, this time I got organized. And I devised them up into like 3 different categories. I have reading, personal, kind of like TV, movies. So yeah, there's a lot of questions, so let's get into it. The first question is do you always get approved on NetGalley? If you don't know, NetGalley is a site where you can ask, request e-arcs. They have so many on there, and you can either get approved or denied. And the answer is no, I do not. I get denied for quite a lot, but I do get approved for quite a lot too. So that's not to say like, you know, I think there's a couple publishers that have auto-approved me, which means that any book they have on NetGalley I can read, which is amazing. But there are some publishers that I know, like as soon as I request it, I'm like, it's gonna be denied, and I'm always denied by them. So I would say 70% of the time I am approved, which is great. It's a great ratio. I'm so fortunate for it. But there are some books that I would love to get approved for that I don't. But, you know, for the most part, I do get approved. But, you know, it is what it is. I love NetGalley. They've been amazing to me for the past couple years because I've been using them a ton. But yeah, if you haven't already checked that out, then let me know. If you want a whole video on NetGalley on how to like learn how to work it and things like that, let me know. Next step is travel romance book recommendations. Paris is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley is a great one. It's all about this woman that travels to like, where'd she go? She goes to Ireland, she goes to Paris, she goes to Italy, somewhere else in search of like kind of her ex-boyfriends that maybe will spark up a relationship again. That's a super cute one. That is literally the only travel romance book I can think of right now. So there you go. Does your husband read a lot? And if so, what genre? No, my husband never reads. It would be amazing if he read 2 books a year. If he does read, it's usually a nonfiction Christian book. Honestly, that's just how it is. He's not a big reader. He never has been. And that's okay. It makes the relationship interesting, I guess. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. He is fully for me reading a ton and fully supports me. So, and I support him in his hobbies and things like that because that's just how it goes. But no, he reads like nothing. And that's just how it is. Have I ever read an Agatha Christie novel? Yes, I have. I have read And Then There Were None. Yay. And I did enjoy it. It's a great one. I could definitely see how Agatha Christie has paved the way for a lot of mystery thriller writers, how they kind of she kind of has that like whodunit where it's like in one setting and you have a group of characters and you have to figure out who killed who and, you know, with what, things like that. So I have read one of her books. I have 2 other ones on my TBR. Which ones do I have? I have Death on the Nile, and I have kind of Midwinter's Murders on my TBR. These are all my TBR books now. But yeah, I want to read more, but I have read one, so that's good. What do you do with books that you are done reading but don't want to keep? A great question, especially for me. I have had to downsize immensely. I have had 2 large shelves in my office that I've had to give up for baby's room, and so my husband so graciously converted kind of our garage into a dual office space for both of us, but there's only room for one of my shelves. So I had to get rid of a lot of books. And what I have determined for this is if I am not going to reread it, if it's not like one of my like, you know, like seriously obsessed with favorites, it can go. And, you know, I've gotten rid of a lot of fantasy books because I'm not going to reread them, things like that. I've gotten rid of a lot of romance books because I don't see myself like rereading them. Or if I'm not going to talk about them a lot in certain videos in the future, it's okay. And you know what? They go to a more loving home where somebody else can read them. I'm trying to be more minimalistic. So that's my advice to you. If you're like, I have all these books, but I don't really want them, but I feel bad of getting rid of them, just get rid of them. Just make sure they go to like a good home. Either you can have a friend. I give a lot of my books to friends, or I give them to a thrift store where it goes to like a charity kind of cause, so I know that it's going to a good location. So just, it's okay. Life's too short to keep things that you don't really love. So that's just my rule. If I don't like love it, they can just leave. Interesting. What is your new romance starter pack? And there's like 3 categories for YA, rom-com, and steamy. It's so hard to do this because my shelves are, I'm filming in my office, but like just in this wall, but books are gone. So like I can't look back and see, like recommend anything. So I'm gonna have to go to the top of my head. YA romance. Oh goodness. To Boyfriend by Gloria Chow was actually really cute. I would highly recommend that if you want a great romance YA book. That's a good one. Rom-com. If you want like a funny type of one, any Sophie Kinsella book will do. I find her books very rom-com-ish, where that's just kind of funny, lighthearted, and a little bit romantic. My two favorites of hers are I've Got Your Number and My Not So Perfect Life. So those two are great for rom-coms. And Steamy, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. What's another really good one? The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood's another great one as well. So there's your kind of new romance starter pack. Hopefully you enjoyed. How do you manage doing a review for a book sent or gifted to you that you don't like? I do okay with it. I think I used to beat myself up a lot, especially if a book was like really hyped on BookTube and I read and I didn't enjoy it. I would be like, ugh. But now I'm just like, it is what it is. I just have to be honest about it. And, you know, I have friends that we have very different taste in books. Like, I still get debates with my best friend. We both read the Twilight series and she loves Breaking Dawn and I loathe that book. And we will just get in a full-on debate about it. And, you know, it is what it is. You're going to have different opinions of people. That's how it makes the world work. But I understand. And the fact if you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because that is me 1000%. I never want to hurt anyone's feelings. That's like the number one thing I don't want to do. But you can always be it respectfully. Just, you know, be honest about it. Don't be overly, especially for reviewing as well. Don't be overly down on a book just to be down on a book. I try not to do that. I try to just be like, this is why I didn't like it. And, you know, that's okay. But if you enjoyed it, that's okay as well. I always try to reiterate that point of like, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean you won't like it. So that's how I would go about it. Just be honest. Don't be like overly callous about it, I guess you could say would be my advice. Hopefully that's good advice. What is your favorite book ever? Only one, just thinking about it brings you joy. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. No problems at all answering that. It brings me joy, but also brings me great sadness because that book is so freaking sad. Be prepared if you want to read that one. When did you start to make reading a hobby? Ooh, that's a great question. I fell in love with reading. I've always been in love with reading kind of, but in middle school when I discovered Harry Potter, that was a big phase for me. And then in high school, I kind of meandered around. I read some Meg Cabot, I read some Jodi Picoult. I never was really a hobby for me until I discovered BookTube. Like, it's almost been 10 years at this point. So back then, I guess you could say, is when I discovered this whole world of people that love reading and that I could share it with. So that's when it truly became a hobby for me. So whenever my first video was out, like that's when reading was really intense for me. How do you pick the next book you're going to read? Any pattern or just randomly? I used to be a TBR girl. I used to have a TBR video up every single month, and I don't do that anymore because it was too much pressure on myself, and I've become a mood reader a lot. There are certain books that I do write down like on like a notepad or something like, hey, if I can read it this month, that'd be great, but I don't really try to like stick hard and fast to that rule. I am a big proponent of reading new releases on the month. That's just how I am, especially this year, this summer, I've been reading like books months in advance, which I usually don't do because I don't feel like it's fair to like you guys to be like, hey, I read this book that I really love, but it's not coming out for like 5 months. So, you know, I don't want to do that. But I've had to do that because of circumstances. But I just kind of mood read and I just pick up whatever I feel. Like if I read a romance and it was really good, I might pick up another romance. But I've been kind of romanced out lately as of filming this, so I picked up a mystery thriller, which was a great change of pace. I just really like go to my shelf right here, or I'll go to my like Kindle shelf and just see what I'm feeling, honestly. That's kind of how I've been for the past, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, I would say, and I've actually been really enjoying it. Last reading question is, how many hours a day do you spend reading? I don't know. I read in spurts. Like whenever my kid's outside and I'm like swinging him, or he's playing in his like little pool, or if he's playing, you know, stuff like that, I can read like, I'm talking about in like 10-minute increments. That's how I read. So I would say maybe an hour or 2 a day at most, and that's split up. I can't tell you last time I read for an hour straight. I really can't. This is just how it is. It's mom life. I've gotten used to it. I read in 10-minute spurts. That's just how it rolls. And if you're a parent, I'm sure you can understand that. And it's the way I would recommend, just read whenever you can, because when you have kids, there's no really rhyme or reason. You can't set yourself a reading schedule as much as you want to. It's not going to happen. So speaking of mom life, we're going to move into personal questions now. The first question I got the most of is, do I know the gender of my baby? If you don't know, I'm expecting my second child. And yes, I do know the gender. It's not like a big surprise or anything. We're just being a little bit more private this time around because we're just, I think, at that point in life where we're trying to be more private to respect our kids' privacies and to respect our own privacy. So yes, we know, and like family members know, our friends know, it's not like a big, it's not going to be like a big announcement or stuff like that. It's just, we're just keeping it private till they decide to arrive. And, it is what it is. But yeah, we know. Next question is, how are you managing being pregnant and reading so much and other stuff? That's a great question. Right now, I feel like I'm juggling like 50,000 things. My husband and I both, we have so many things to do. Like as of right now, I'm filming this 30 weeks pregnant, and this room that I'm in is going to be the nursery is not even anywhere close to being complete. Like my shelves are still up, just bare. And anyway, summertime is a big proponent for me reading a lot. I told you guys repeatedly that I read a lot when my child is outside. That's when I get most of my reading done. It's just easier that way. When I was very first pregnant, like I'm talking about like the first trimester, I did not read a lot because I was just so insanely tired. I'm getting to that point again because I'm 30 weeks, like I said. And I didn't read a lot. I was just, I couldn't do anything. But right now I just read a lot because I feel okay. I can still do it. I don't know how else to answer that. It's different for each different woman, honestly. When is baby due? By the time you're seeing this, they should have already arrived, but technically my due date is September 8th, and I think they will come early, and that's okay with me. Will I take a break from YouTube once baby comes? Yes, but hopefully you'll never know. I am a workaholic. If you don't know already, I'm very type A. I like to get things done. I like lists. I like being organized. I'm very meticulous when it comes to stuff like that. And so, as soon as like June hit, I started pre-filming for September and October. My plan is to pre-film all my videos for September and October. So that's like, that gives me 2 full months of like maternity leave, even though technically, this isn't like a job or anything like that, but you get what I'm saying. So I will be taking a break as far as filming and reading, because once September hits, I just know that if I read, great, but I'm not going to hold myself up to it, if that makes any sense. And I won't be filming any videos for like at least 8 weeks because I'm going from 1 kid to 2 kids. It's going to be quite a feat. And I have a special needs child already. So it's going to be really complicated and it's going to be tough. So I'm trying to make sure I give myself grace. So I'm honestly busting my butt right now trying to pre-film as much as I can. I think as of right now, like I said, I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I've pre-filmed, this is my 4th video I'm pre-filming. I'm trying to pre-film like 20. It's a lot to juggle, but I want to make sure you guys have videos. I don't want to like completely disappear for 8 weeks. I don't want to do that, but I'm going to pre-film as much as I can and as much as I feel comfortable with. So yeah, technically the answer is yes, I'll be taking a break, but like I said, hopefully you'll never know because I'll still be in your feed twice a week, hopefully. Do you think you'll be doing any more vlogs? I've gotten this question a lot. I haven't done any vlogs this year, and I think the answer to that is probably going to be no. And that kind of goes into the reason of why I'm not telling the gender of my baby or anything like that, or I'm not sharing a lot, because I'm just trying to really respect privacy with my kids. As I've said before, I have a special needs child. I don't want to overexpose him. I want to respect his privacy, and things like that. And plus, the internet is a very, very scary place. Like, I don't want to expose my kids any more than like, I don't want to say necessary. Like, if I don't need to, then I'm not going to do it, because the internet, there's a lot of really scary people on the internet. Let's be honest about that. There is. So I'm trying to be safe and cautious and just overprotective. I'm a mama bear, that's for sure. So I don't think I'm going to do any vlogs because honestly, like, I'm with my child 24/7, and you know, he would be in them a lot, and my next baby will be in them a lot because that's just my life. But I want to respect their privacy and, you know, give them the space to grow up with not being, you know, surrounded by the internet, things like that. And I hope you guys understand. I'm sure you do. I'm sure a lot of you guys are in the same boat as well, and you're protective of your kids, as you should be. So that's just my feelings on it. If I do a vlog, it'll just be me. Maybe, I don't know. But then again, I don't vlog a lot too because I feel like my vlogs are so insanely boring because I just don't have a very like fascinating life, which is okay with. I'm totally okay with. But yeah, that's a long answer. A lot of these are. I'm sorry. Second pregnancy, the same and different than the first? Oh, this is a great question. With the first, with Noah, I was very high risk, so I couldn't work because I was working at a very fast pace, like on my feet for 12 hours a day job that I had to let go of. And luckily I was able to because my husband had a great job. So I got to rest a lot. I got to just do whatever. This one, nope, like resting, what's that? You know, I have to keep up with my 6-year-old, and that's hard. I'm not gonna lie, especially being pregnant in the summer is the worst, like this far along. Like I am, like I said, 30 weeks, and it's like 90 degrees here every day, and I'm like sweating profusely. So that's something different. Another thing that's different is I actually think I'm a lot healthier with this pregnancy this time around. I've given up caffeine completely, which I did not do with Noah at all. I've eaten healthier, things like that. But, you know, still I've had to take a lot of glucose tests, things like that. But the second pregnancy is simultaneously harder, I would say, because of just keeping up with my first child. If I could rest all the time, I'd probably feel a lot better, but I really can't, and that's just how it is. That's how a lot of parents that especially have more kids and they get pregnant again, that's how it goes. They don't rest because what time is there for that? But I mean, for healthy wise, I think it's going a lot better because I'm more conscious about it. And I think I'm much more relaxed this time around because the first time with Noah, I had 3 previous miscarriages before him, and I was just a ball of anxiety the entirety of my pregnancy. Like I was just nervous about everything. And this one, I'm much more calm and much more just, I'm trying to take it as it goes. So that's another thing. So every woman's totally different. And the last personal question is, my baby gonna be named after a fictional character? No, sadly they will not be, sorry to say. And my last category is TVs, movies, etc. So the first question is, would I rather spend a day in Stars Hollow, Connecticut, aka Gilmore Girls, or in Scranton, Pennsylvania, aka The Office? This is the easiest question ever. Stars Hollow, I think like a lot of people would say that. Not to like hate on Scranton, but there's not a lot there. Stars Hollow, I mean, oh my goodness, who wouldn't want to visit that magical town, especially in the fall? Like, take me there, please, now. Have I ever done a rom-com video? If that means like rom-com movies, yes, I've done a top 10 of my favorite rom-coms. I'll link it up here. It was a long time ago. Maybe I should do an updated one. If you want that, let me know. Are there any book to movie, TV adaptations you would like to happen? Usually for this, I would say no, because I've been so like off the bandwagon for like book to movie adaptations. I'm just kind of over them, honestly. But when I read Kill Creek by Scott Thomas, I was like, man, this would be a great movie. And I would still like to see that as a movie. I think it would be great. Either a movie or a show, I don't know. It depends on what they want to do. But I think that would actually be a good adaptation, honestly. Favorite TV series? Gilmore Girls, we all know this. I have done so many videos on Gilmore Girls, it's not even funny. Like, I'm just Gilmore Girls obsessed, still am. And speaking of Gilmore Girls, like the last like 4 questions are all Gilmore Girls related. So the first one is Dean, Logan, or Jess, and those are all Rory's boyfriends. And for this one, I'm gonna say none. I'm kind of over them all. I used to be Team Logan, and then I was like, oh, then I was Team Jess, and I was like, oh. So right now, none of them. She don't need a man. She's good. Especially her right now, the way she's going. And then Luke or Christopher? Luke, Danes, 1000%, never, ever, ever will I say Team Christopher. And I don't think barely any of us will. Lane or Paris? That's a good one. I love Lane, but I also love Paris. I think I would pick Paris because she's entertaining, she's real and raw, and girl's got a lot going on. But I love Lane, but I also loathe her husband, Zach. He's one of my least favorite characters in the show. I feel like I'm really alone on that, but I don't like him at all. But I mean, I love Lane. Can't have both. I don't know. Moving on. And the last question is, what did you think about A Year in the Life as good as the original? A Year in the Life was Netflix's new 4-part Gilmore Girls series, I guess you could say. They brought the original creators back and they did seasons. So they did winter, spring, summer, and fall, and they were all like an hour and a half long. I did reviews for every single one of them, so if you want to watch them, I'll link them down below. It was okay. Winter, which ones? I liked winter. I did not like spring or summer. Fall was the best. That was truly amazing, but it's not as good as the original. I think a lot of us can attest to it. I think honestly, it made Rory worse, and it made me really open my eyes to see how horrible of a character she truly is. I will say that. Rory just, oh my gosh, I wish she would have, I wish a lot of things for that year in the life, particularly for Rory to like grow up and to like own up to things. I really do. Also Lorelai kind of was, I don't know. It was, what am I trying to say here? I'm glad it happened because it finalized a few things that I think a lot of us fans wanted, but it also left a lot of doors open, and it kind of, it wasn't full circle. Like, they ended it the way they wanted to end it at the very beginning of the show. If that holds you anything, I don't want to spoil it for you. And I'm kind of glad it didn't end like that, because I don't know, it just wouldn't have been good in my opinion if it would have ended on that 7th season like that. But I don't know, I might need to rewatch them. I just don't have a desire to rewatch them. When I watch Gilmore Girls, I watch like the first 7 seasons, like not even the 7th season a lot, honestly. I don't rarely watch A Year in the Life because it was okay. That's all I'll say. It was okay. Not nearly as anywhere good as the original. That's just how it is. Anyway, that was my Q&A for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are enjoying seeing my pre-recorded face as I'm filming this in July. But it is what it is. If you want me to do more of these, let me know, because I'm sure when I do eventually make my comeback, I'm gonna have to find some like easy content to kind of go into. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Pre-recorded. Ooh, bye.